Hey everyone, and welcome to IG8Live Esports. Once again this evening we're back here with PGL F1 Racing Sunday Division for round 18 of 23 for the Russian Grand Prix. A bit of a glitch on the first attempt at setting up this lobby here. We're back again once again here. We're qualifying one down to about 15.5 minutes left in. We got quite a few cars already on their outlaps here. A few drivers getting a bit disconnected off of the lobby there. We're trying to figure that out, see what's happening with it. In the meanwhile, we do have a few cars getting on their road laps going. We should start to see some lap times coming here pretty quickly. Let's just get a few stats up on screen so you guys can have a look at what's going to be happening on. Obviously, everyone's going to be on the soft tires and running, so we'll probably just keep that off for now until we head on over to qualifying 2. Then we'll have a look at what set of tires they're going to be using in terms of race strategy as well, because they'll have to put that into account at that point there. But let's see, we currently got 17 drivers in the session. Let's see which 15 will be making it over to the next session there. Of course, 3 drivers already disconnected off of the qualifying lobby at the moment, so I'm not sure how that's going to affect things. But we'll see what's going to happen by the time we get around to that point in this session here. Right now, still on qualifying 1, Vintage and Mikey are on their hot laps at the moment. And there goes J-Tac as well as getting started on that. So everything's going to be purple here for Vintage. Let's see where he finishes off with this current lap. And then when the rest of the drivers are going to stand, as we have a few more lap times that are going to be coming in at the end of that as well. Alright, so getting through sector 3 at the moment, we should be able to start to see our first lap time in here for qualifying 1, already down to just under 14 minutes. So crazy how quickly the time goes by here, even in qualifying 1, and it's the longest qualifying session that we usually do have on a track here for the entire qualifying itself. The other 2 sessions are just going to be 15 minutes and 12 minutes long. So we got our lap times in. We got Vintage with a 1:33.1 so far. Got quite a few more drivers I know are coming in with a lap times pretty soon. I think Mikey might be the next driver to get his time in. I think he just got about 2 corners more just to get around here at the moment, which is get around. So let's see where he goes as he gets across the line, and a few more drivers coming just behind of that. Mikey goes 1:31.1, about 2 seconds faster than what Vintage is, so not too bad so far. I think Walker's on a lap there as well. J-Tag goes at a 1:32.6, so we're getting a bit closer off to that 1:31 that Mikey did, with the rest of the drivers getting across right now. Walker's invalidated his current lap, so he's gonna get started on a new one right about now. I think Extremist might be on a lap as well, but he invalidated apparently, so he'll have to get that restarted once again. Back on with Walker at the moment, so he's on a second attempt at the hot lap here right now, trying to get a good qualifying time in. Hopefully he's able to get this done without invalidating the lap on the second attempt here, because time is becoming a bit short on them and goes a little bit too wide off the exit of that turn. So that's a lap gone there. He's gonna have to get back into the pits and try it once again. Back on with Mr. Rage here over here. Let's see where he's gonna be at the end of this lap. Currently in sector 1 at the moment, gets a purple sector 1 as well, so he seems to be on for a pretty good lap, at least for now. Let's see how his sector 2 time is going to be as he's getting through that here at the moment. Seems to be flying through the lap, so do expect he might get somewhere in that 1:31 or maybe a 1:32 if it doesn't go too well in one of these 2 final sectors on track. Well, seems to be going pretty well for him so far. Looks like Mikey gets even better lap time now, 1:30.7. So he's moved away from the 1:31s. He's now put a car on P1 with a 1:30.7, which is going to be pretty difficult to even beat in this session here. Of course, the main aim of qualifying 1 is going to be to get on over into qualifying 2, so that they can get over to qualifying 3 and just get the best possible grid position for the start of the race. But I think that 1:30.7 is going to hold up pretty well going down to the end of Q1 here. Still got about 11 minutes left in the session. Mr. Rage goes second fastest now, 1:31.3. And that's going to hold pretty well for him. Let's have a look at the rest of the grid here right now. I think Nick And he's invalidated his lap because I was looking forward to see what sort of lap time he was going to bring in. So unfortunate to see that. Going back down to Walker once again on another attempt at the hot lap here. This might be his third attempt at it. And I think he's on the same set of tires going. So those tires are just about 2 laps to warn right about now. But he's still doing purple sectors on them. So he's not having a bad lap right about now. Just needs to avoid invalidating the lap, and he should be able to actually get this done. So let's have a look and see where he's going to be at the end of this lap. Trying to have an onboard view here with Walker through sector 2, which is a bit of an interesting sector. Quite a few twists and turns. Either way, he seems to be getting through pretty well so far. We just need to have him finish off sector 3. And got about 290-degree turns coming up just to get around those. And he should be good to go for a actual lap time here. With 9 minutes 40 seconds left in. And he got the fastest time in the session. 1 minute 30 seconds and 5 tenths after that. So not too bad. So 130.5 puts him about 2 tenths ahead of Mikey there on his lap time. So really not a bad time from him. He just needs to avoid invalidating those laps, is what he usually has trouble with on track. And I think Nick here is he got his lap time in finally as well at 130.9. Goes about 2 tenths slower than Mikey now. So we're getting into that competitive range in terms of the lap times here, getting well into those 130s though for the top 3 so far. Got a few more drivers out on track here at the moment. We do have Serious Mushroom, I think, trying to get a lap time in there as well. I think Beefy is on an out lap at the moment. So I'm going down to Serious Mushroom at the moment in the McLaren. Have a look at him on his lap here. He's currently in sector 1, getting to sector 2 right now. Not a proper sector so far, but still could have a pretty good lap here before closing off here in qualifying 1. Still enough time to actually get this done. So let's see where he goes by the end of this current lap. Alright guys, so let's see this Mushroom going up into P6 at 131.6. So lap times so far are really not too bad. We're going to go on over here with, I think Beefy's on the hot lap. So let's have a look at him in the Red Bull there right now. So far, Walker the fastest time here in qualifying 1 at 130.5, sorry. And Mikey the second fastest at 130.7. Nick the third fastest at 130.9. Then Mr. H goes into fourth with a 131.3. We got Callum there fifth with a 131.5, and he goes down to 6 now because Maddie now goes up into 5th to the 131.5. So puts himself up in there, not to that position. Serious Mushroom down to 7th at 131.6. Neil down in 8th at 132.3. J-Tac in 9th at 132.6. And Vintage in 10th at 132.7. We got Scooby and Beefy. Well, Beefy's on his hot lap right now. Scooby's on an out lap, and Extremis is back in the pits at the moment. He needs to still get a lap time in here before the end of Q1. Guys, out of this session, we do have Dan Murphy, Sofdar, Cody, and Red Devil. I think Cody might be having some trouble trying to get back into the lobby. I'm not sure if he's back in or not. But yep, those guys are going to be down at the bottom of the grid here on this one. So let's see who gets knocked off of qualifying 2. And by the time we're ready to get over to there, we still got quite a bit of time left. Just under 6.5 minutes here for qualifying 1, and that's going to give everyone enough time to get back on track if they do need to do that to get a better lap time in, if they so wish to do that actually. Okay, so back on once again. I think Scooby is finally on his hot lap, as so is Extremist out on track there. But I think Extremist might be behind him coming. So have a look at these two coming in the final few minutes that we do have here. When I think also a few cars are getting back on track, as I think Mr. Rage might be back or trying to get a faster time in. Hopefully, if he can, to possibly put a car in P1 before the end of Q1 here. And because lap times are getting quite a bit close after each other, going off the end of the session. And we range currently from 130.5 to 132.7, which is really not too bad here for qualifying 1. So we'll see by the time we get over to qualifying 2 what our lap times are going to look like, especially in qualifying 3. Actually expect to see a bit more I guess closer a gap between the lap times that we're having, but still quite close with the top 4 that we have it so far in those 130. We got a 130.5, 0.7, 0.8, and 0.9, ranging from Walker, then Mikey, then Mr. Ray, down to Nick there in 4th. So definitely looking to see what those 4 are going to be doing in the race session, but they still got to get through qualifying 2 and qualifying 3 with each other. And we're going to see who's going to be starting on provisional pole for the Russian Grand Prix here. Going to be interesting to see how that works out. Remember, it's quite an interesting run getting down for turn 1 here in the start of this race itself. So we're going to be interesting to see how drivers handle themselves through that. And especially with braking zones and get around the parabolica and whatnot. We'll see how it goes by the time we're ready to get started with the racing itself, but should be a good session. Neil confirming with us there in the live chat is gonna be a dry race, so interested to see what that's gonna be like. Because you know, if it does tend to get wet on track here, it changes things up a lot. So it's gonna be a lot of fun to watch a dry race here at Russia, at least for this evening. And we'll see how that goes. Qualifying, I think, should be dry all the way through as well. That's a 123.3 so far there for Scooby. They're Extremist on a second attempt at this hot lap situation here. Right now we're down to about just under 2 minutes 50 seconds left in qualifying 1. So definitely starting to run a bit short on time for whoever is still trying to get a better time in. I think he's just trying to get any possible time in with 4 other drivers out of the session. Puts him in a pretty good chance of getting over to qualifying 2. So just needs to get a lap time in to get out of the position he is stuck on in the grid there right now in 15th. I think just about any lap time should work as he's getting around the final turn there right about now. Gets across the line and goes 13th at 139.0. That's going to work just for now at least. That puts him into 13. So 13 drivers with lap times in here. Waiting to see where the rest of the grid is going to go. Down to 2 minutes. Majority of our drivers have retired off of the session so far. And confirmation from Neil, it is dry through qualifying all the way through as well. So yeah, definitely looking forward to see what that's going to be like. It does mean that we will see some of the best possible lap times that these guys can put in on the dry tires here through qualifying, and getting to that race start going to be very interesting. With the entire session being dry, they're going to have to account their race strategy towards that, and of course accounting for any possible virtual safety cars or full safety cars that might happen in a race. The drivers will have to take all of that into account in terms of what race strategy they want to run here, in terms of pit stops as well, if they're doing a 1-stop, a 2-stop, or even going for more, depending on if they take damage at the start of the race. So we got J-Tac doing a purple sector 1 so far. Trying to have a look on what his sector 2 time is about to be like here. He's about to get across that line. And not a purple sector 2, so he seems to be pretty fast here in sector 1, but having some problems getting through sector 2 so far at the moment. Anyway, let's see if he does get an improved time. Currently at 132.621. And he goes across the line. And actually improves. It goes up to 132.122 now. Puts him up into P9 with that. So not bad finishing position here for qualifying 1. We're down to the final 20 seconds right now, and I don't think anyone else is currently running except for Serious Mushroom here. I think he's about to try to finish off this current lap, because he's on the final lap here to get across that line. And let's see where he does go, because not sure if he's getting a faster time in here, and does get a better time. Actually goes up into P6 at 131.3. That's going to hold up pretty well for him. And I think that's it here for qualifying 1. We got just 2 drivers left on the track that needs to retire after the session. And then we can head off over into qualifying 2. Because we're just running in overtime right now. So obviously no more laps will be... no more laps should be coming in. That should be it there for the session itself. I think we're just waiting on these 2 right about now just to get through their final in laps here, and then that's gonna be it there. Either way, I think that's gonna be it. I think JTAC might be just retiring the car right on track there. I'm not sure if that's what he's doing. Let's have a look. I think he's trying to get back into the pits. Either way, in the meanwhile, that result for qualifying 1 is going to be coming up. We should have a look quickly at what our constructor standings are like. So in the meanwhile, so far we do have Red Bull still leading with 324 points for the Constructors Championship. So far, Alfa Romeo currently in 2nd with 303 points. Mercedes down to 3rd, 256 points. McLaren in 4th, we got 138 points with them. Renault Williams tying for 5th and 6th right now with 114 points, put up for 5th. Then we got Ferrari behind of them with 112 points. Haas behind of that 107. AlphaTauri then 88, and Racing Point currently down at the bottom with 60 points so far. We'll have a look at the driver standings maybe during the race session itself, because just gonna wait and see what's gonna happen in terms of a safety car, because we do expect there might just be one even somewhere in the opening few laps of this race. So we'll see where that situation is going to be like there. I think we're just waiting for these 2 cars to just get across here so we can get on over to the results. Okay, so qualifying 1 results here for the Russian Grand Prix, round 18 of 22 so far for PGL. We got Walker taking the fastest lap here in Q1 at 130.5. Mikey takes 2nd fastest there. Mr. Rage was 3rd fastest on that one. Nick was 4th. Beefy in 5th. Serious Mushroom 6th. Maddie 7th. We got Callum there in 8th. JTAC 9th. Neil in 10th. Vintage 11. Scooby there in 12. We get Extremist there 13. Dan Murphy 14 so far. Sabdar in 15th. That's the top 15 that makes it over to qualifying 2. Then Cody's going to start 16th. Red Devil will have to start 17th on the grid. And we're going to head straight over into qualifying 2 here right now. Okay, so getting started with qualifying 2 right now. We got 15 minutes started on the clock. We got 15 drivers in. Dan Murphy not taking part in this one here as well. So let's see where the rest of the grid is going to be by the end of this session. We're going to probably put on for tires and put for best here, so we can have a look and see what tires these guys are going to be doing their qualifying laps on in terms of figuring out their race strategy and what not. So let's see how well that's going to work. We should have some cars exiting the pits in just a bit. I think they're just trying to work out what set of tires to do their first set of hot laps on here. And of course, they do have a limited amount of time, so they have to just hurry up and get out on track before time starts to go very quickly from them. Waiting to see who's going to be the first car to get out on track here right now. I think we do see someone getting down at the end there, and I'm not sure that might be. Let's see, who is that? And there we go, it was Walker actually. Surprisingly enough, he's usually one of the last to get out on track during qualifying, but seems to be in a bit of a hurry here in qualifying 2. Wants to get a lap time in as early as possible, and he's going to be doing this on the medium, so he might just do this on the mediums, see what the lap time looks like, and then possibly get back out on track, try it on the softs, and see where he stands in terms of what's the difference between the 2 tires in terms of lap times here as well. So we'll see how it goes. Of course, he does have a bit of a difficult time avoiding to invalidate his lap, so he needs to get out on track a bit early as well to just account for that sort of bit of mistake on his end, and just make sure that he gets the qualifying lap time in as best possible as he can, and get the best time in as well. He did get the fastest lap time there in qualifying 1. Let's see where he stands at the end of qualifying 2 and 3. And hopefully he's able to do a repeat and possibly get that car on provisional pole for the start there of the Russian Grand Prix. Going to be interesting to see if that's going to happen. Okay, so back on with our qualifying session. So far, we're down to about 9.5 minutes left in the session here. Mikey currently with the fastest lap there, a 131.3. Mr. Ray down to second fastest at 131.8. Walker actually got a lap time in with a 132.2 so far. Nick with a 132.7. Maddie with a 132.8 down in fifth. Of course, we got to watch what sort of time these guys have done these lap times on so far. We got with Serious Mushroom here, trying to get a lap in. He's currently in sector 2, I think. So let's see where he goes at the end of this. So I've noted most of our drivers have actually chosen to do their lap times so far on the medium tires. Not sure if they're going to have a change of that and possibly try to get it on the softs, but we'll see what's going to happen with that, because Walker's done a second lap and he's gone up to 131.4 to get himself into second there. Mr. Rage down to third with a 131.8, Nick in fourth to 132.7, Maddie in fifth 132.8. That's going to hold for now. Serious Mushroom up to fourth now, pushes Nick down. He has a 132.0, puts himself in a pretty good position with that, so not too bad. Beefy on a hot lap here at the moment, invalidated that current lap. We'll have to try it again, unfortunately. Callum here getting a purple sector 1 so far, getting to sector 2 at the moment. We're gonna see if this is gonna be ending in a purple lap for him in total, probably getting there fastest if he could, but it's gonna be a bit of a tough call there with a 131.3 on the soft serve for Mikey so far. I would expect he possibly can get a faster lap in. We'll see how it goes. This is qualifying 2. They're just going to be focused on getting race strategy set up and possibly making it over to the qualifying 3 session as well. Otherwise, that would have just been for a waste of time trying to do it on the mediums here. So let's see what the situation is going to be by the time they get around to the end of the session. Still just about 7.5 minutes left. So like halfway through qualifying 2 at this point here. Okay, Callum going across the line here right now, goes third fastest, a 131.7, not a bad lap time from him. J-Tac here, where is he on track? He's invalidated his lap either way. Gotta see where he's gonna be at the end of that when he tries it once again. If he's back into the pits. Extremist on a hot lap here right now in the house, and he's just got started on this. So very interested to see where he goes at the end of this lap. So at least half of the grid currently here in qualifying 2 have their lap times in, and it seems to be going pretty well so far. Mikey there at 131.3, fastest lap still as he holds on to that. I think someone behind Extremist went a little bit wide on that current lap, whoever that was. We got Neil on an out lap right now. He's definitely going to start to get a lap time in if he just gets a good lap out of that current lap he's on there. Alright, so we get a purple sector 2 so far off of Extremist here, so seems to have improved his time in sector 2 down from qualifying 1 coming to this point here. So let's see if he's able to get possibly into the top 4 maybe with his lap time that he's currently might be able to get here. Just about 2 turns left to go on the track before he finishes off this current lap. We're down to just under 6 minutes left here in qualifying 2, so should be ending this up pretty shortly. And Extremist goes third fastest at 131.5. That's going to hold up pretty well, at least for now. Where is Neil on track at the moment? He's in the Williams getting it wrong. Let's see where he is going to go at the end of this current lap. His teammate Walker there did his lap on the mediums and is currently in second on the grid with a 131.4. Neil is going to do this on the softs. So the Williams guy is doing a bit of a different strategy at the moment. So we'll see where they finish off with this here. And so far so good here for Neil, because he just did a purple sector 1, possibly with high hopes of getting a purple sector 2 as well. You can see Vintage and J-Tac out on outlaps at the moment. Now the most important thing about these outlaps, they gotta get the final sector just right and get started on the hot lap with as much precision as possible, just to avoid losing any time getting into that lap. Otherwise, it does cost them a 10th or 2, which really can cost them a qualifying position here, in any of the qualifying sessions, basically. So they have to just be very, very careful about that, getting through the final sector of a track and getting started on the hot lap. Got Neil about to finish off his lap here in just a bit, so let's see where he goes on the grid. Seems to be pretty good so far. I don't think it was a purple sector 2, but let's see where he goes across, and goes with a 132.3. Not overly bad. Puts himself down to P7 so far here And I think that's going to hold up pretty well. We're going to go back down to Vintage here. Let's see where he's on track in Sector 1. About to get into Sector 2 here, and not a proper sector, unfortunately. But let's see how that's going to hold up. Walker's retired off of the session pretty early on. I think he's happy with his lap time at 1:31.4, and he did it on the medium, so I think that's going to be what his strategy is going to be going into this race. He's going to be starting the race itself on the mediums. We're going to see how many stops these guys are actually planning on doing by the time we get to the race session itself. On the formation lap, we'll have a look at a few things there. But yeah, so far Mikey in this session has the fastest lap at 1:31.3, and he's on an out lap right now, trying to improve that, trying to make sure he keeps that car at that point either way. Walker not doing too bad in this session so far. Got the fastest lap in Q1, second fastest here in Q2. Let's see where he goes by the end of qualifying 3 when we get over to that one. And I'm going to be interesting because lap times are getting a bit closer here right now. You range from a 1:31.3 to a 1:32.8, and literally about 1.5 seconds is what that gap is between first and ninth on the grid so far. So I think we're doing pretty well in terms of that. We'll see where the rest of the grid goes as they get on through. We still got JTAC on track, trying to get on a hot lap going there, and Beefy is on his out lap at the moment. Vintage has done a 1:33.6 so far. Where is JTAC on track? Let's see where he's going. He's currently in Sector 2 in the racing point here, trying to get a time in, but let's see if he's going to be able to get a good time in before the end of this session. And unfortunately an invalidated lap as he stops on track and doesn't seem to be too happy about that there, so not sure what he's gonna be doing. Anyway, let's have a look back at here at Beefy right now on his lap right about now. We're down to about 2 minutes left here in qualifying 2. We got quite a few drivers on out laps at the moment, so they're definitely going to try to improve their lap times. Not sure if they're going to be doing it on a different set of tires. And JTAC has been disqualified from the session for driving the wrong way on track. I think it was a bit frustrated and just did that, maybe purposely, I'm not even sure. But either way, he's out of the session. So Beefy here just needs to get any possible lap time in faster than a 1:33, and he's in for qualifying 3. I'm not sure how it felt for everyone, but it did seem like qualifying 2 is ending up pretty quickly. We got a proper sector 2 of our Beefy's lap so far. He does have a few more drivers running on track there, so he needs to get an even better time here right now to make sure he can keep himself into the qualifying 3 session. Either way, let's see where he goes as he's about to finish up this lap here right about now and gets across the line. Goes second fastest at 1:31.2 and did that on the softs. I think that's going to hold up pretty well, taking him over into qualifying 3 there. So trying to have a look at the rest of the grid here, about to finish up their laps at the moment. And this is Nick here. I think he just did a purple sector 2 as well. I think most of these lap times will probably hold as it is there right now. Of course, I think our top 10 has already been settled there, as from 11 to 15 are already out of the session. So these guys are just trying to get a better time in, if at all possible, here right about now. So we're officially out of time here in qualifying 2. Just having a look and see if anyone is able to improve their time as they all get across the line. I think we got Mikey. Should be getting he's getting back into the pits there right now. And probably so is Beefy here at the moment. So just waiting for everyone to just close off the current lap that are on here on track. And that's going to be it for this session here. And we're going to head on straight on over into qualifying 3. See what our top 10 starting grid is going to look like at the end of that 12 minutes, and then get straight into the race session. Welcome to everyone joining on to the stream here with us live. Good to have you guys on. Please make sure you guys do leave a like on the stream, and make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, or if you haven't done so as yet. And so I think we're starting to get to the end of most of the laps here, as most of the cars have gotten across the line, or either that or gotten back into the pit lane itself. Just waiting for the few drivers just here to retire off the session so we can get on over to the results, and then just head straight into the race session itself. I think this is our final driver to get into the pits there, or just get across the line. Either way it works. I think it works better if they just drive across the finish line and just end off the session rather than going to the pits. But either way, we should be ending off in just about less than a minute or so, and have a look at the results before going over to qualifying 3. Okay, so qualifying 2 results here right now. Mikey got the fastest lap in the 130.6. Callum was second fastest with that 130.9, and Beefy the third fastest 131.2. Top 3 did it on the softs there. Walker did it on the mediums, got 4th on the grid with that 131.4. Serious Mushroom in the softs 131.4 in 5th. Extremist in 6th, 131.5 on the softs as well. Yeah, Mr. H 7th on the mediums. Nick in 8th on the mediums. So is Maddie in 9th, and Neil there on the softs in 10th. Vintage will start 11th. Scooby's gonna start 12th. Dan Murphy 13th, and Sabdar 14th. And yep, so we'll have a look at the full starting grid as well before getting started with the race there in the formation lap. But let's head on over to qualifying 3, and let's see what the results are going to be like in there. Okay, so into qualifying 3, 12 minutes already started on the clock, and let's just make sure our stats are up on screen, and let's see who's going to be getting out on track here first. Of course, just 12 minutes, and they got a very short time here to get their lap times in, and this is just going to be to determine the starting positions for the top 10. Got a Red Bull already getting out. That's going to be Beefy getting out there already. I think we got a car getting out in front of him there as well. So I think most of our cars might be getting out quite early off in this session, and it is qualifying 3, guys. Just under this for 11 minutes left now, already down by a minute. Time definitely will go away very quickly on them here. They're probably going to be able to do maybe about 2 sets of hot laps here, maybe 3 depending on if they run about 2 sets on the same set of tires. We'll see how well it's going to go here, but yeah, definitely quite a few cars already out. I think the rest of the grid will be getting out in just a bit as well, because they don't want to be wasting too much time in the pits at this point here. Okay, so majority of our cars currently on hot laps here at the moment. So let's see where everyone stands at the end of this current lap. I'm trying to see who is currently out in front, and looks like it actually is Beefy leading the field out in front. He's going to be the first to get a lap time in. So let's see where he goes on. Everything obviously is purple because no lap time set as yet. So we'll see what's going to happen at the end of this, because our lap times are going to be changing quite a bit, with quite a few cars coming behind him on their hot laps as well. So we'll see where everyone stands after the first round of laps. They're about to come in here. I think he has just about 2 turns left to go before getting across the line here. Has a Haas behind of him. Probably Extreme is there. I'm not even 100% sure who it is. But we'll see who that's going to be as he gets across at a 131.2. And was Extreme instead of 131.3. Goes into second with that. Walker goes fastest now. 130.3 takes away provisional pole away from Beefy with that. Nick might be on a lap. Actually invalidated his lap, so not going too well for him. Got the Ferrari of Maddie coming around here, but I think he had a bit of a mishap there. Let's see if he's still going on a hot lap here or not. Mr. Rage here going on a very slow lap because I think he had a bit of an error on his end. Yep, that's going to be it there for Maddie as well, not finishing that current lap. Callum here in the Haas should be able to finish his lap. His teammate Extreme is currently 3rd fastest on the grid. Let's see where he goes currently. Should be able to make it. He makes it into 4th at 131.8. He's about 5/10 off his teammate's time, so not too bad with that. So far, we got the rest of the grid currently on their laps going through. Nick here in sector 1. Let's see if he does get anything purple or not. I'm not sure if he'll be able to get that at the moment, but currently not. But still should be a pretty good time. We'll see where he gets through with that after the end of this lap. So far as we have it, 7 minutes left here in qualifying 3. We got Walker hovering on to provisional pole so far for the start of this race at 130.3. Beefy down to second at 131.2. And Extremist in third at 131.3. And Callum there 4th at 131.8 so far. I think these lap times will hold up pretty well until the rest of the grid actually starts to get their lap times in. And we got a few more drivers trying to get some times in right now. There's a purple sector 2 coming off of Nick's lap. And he should be finishing this lap here pretty soon. So let's have a look on where he goes with that. And he does go second fastest at 130.5. Misses off Walker's time by about 2/10 there. So not too bad with the lap time so far for Nick. Pretty interesting one. Mr. Rage goes up 3rd fastest on the grid at 130.7. Puts Beefy down to 4th now. Extreme is down to 5th. Callum down to 6th. We got Mikey on a lap here at the moment in sector 2. Let's see where he goes at the end of this. Got Serious Mushroom and Neil as well running there. And welcome to both Serious Mushroom and Ethan there in the chat. Good to have the guys in. Serious Mushroom having some issues with his laptop. Hopefully everything is going well so far with him. Welcome to Ethan there. Haven't seen him in a while as well. I haven't streamed in a while, so makes sense in that aspect. I got about 3 drivers left to get some times in. Let's see where they go at the end of this. But so far, doing pretty well with the lap times, ranging from 130.3 to 131.8. Not too bad with it. Mikey goes up to 6th fastest, 131.7. Did expect a faster lap there, but we're gonna have to take that, I guess, for now. And let's see if Mr. Rage or Nick are doing anything other with their current laps. Still good to have you on, Ethan. Still good to see you around. Because I did notice that you were not racing in a bit, but I know you got a lot of things going on with your league there as well. So I assume that's probably keeping you quite a bit busy as well. I have to drop and see what exactly is going on over there. I think I'm still in the Discord. I should still be in. Okay, so down to about just under 4.5 minutes. Still got a few lap times to come in from Maddie and Serious Mushroom. When they do get that going once again, which I think they're going to get out back for. Walker already on a 2nd out lap here right now. So definitely trying to make sure he stays on provisional pole for the start of the race. I don't think he wants to lose it at this point. Got the fastest lap in Q1, second fastest lap in Q2, and he's looking to get provisional pole here for the start of the Russian Grand Prix. It's looking pretty good so far with a 130.3 that he did. Nick and Mr. Ray just behind him, a few tenths behind, so they're looking to get a better time if possible here right now. So he needs to be a bit careful with that, which is why he's actually trying to get out right now and get a better time in. Hopefully he's able to probably improve it by a tenth or two, because we might have Nick and Mr. H get out on track in just a bit, trying to improve their time as well. We'll see how well it's going to go, but so far so good here in qualifying, getting on through Q1, Q2, and now in Q3. Looking forward to see what this race start is going to be like, and if we do expect a safety car to happen here or not. I do expect there might be one within the first 3 laps. I'm not sure how right am I about that one, but it just does depend on how that race start goes. Because I think we got at least about 17 on the grid. Maybe 18. We'll see what's going to be the situation with that. But I think it's still either way going to be quite an interesting race. We do have Maddie and Serious Mushroom back on out laps there right now. Nick and Mr. Rage as well on laps at the moment going on through. We're following on with Walker on board right now to see if he's able to improve his time from a 130.3 and possibly even get a faster time in to hold on to that provisional pole position there. I think we'll keep the driver standings and probably have a look at that, and maybe later on in the race itself, because I do expect there might be a safety car somewhere at some point. So I think we're going to go through that during that safety car incident there, if it does have one. And that's an invalidated lap there, I think, from Walker. Yep, it is. So unfortunately, not going to be able to improve the time unless he tries for a second lap on this same set of tires here, which he does have enough time to do. So let's see if he does get around to doing that. There we got Nick and Mr. Rage getting on with their laps here right about now. I think Mr. Rage just got started with his. So let's see if he's able to get a faster time than a 130.7 there. Well guys, closing down to the last 15 seconds here in Q3, and things seem to be staying a bit constant as they were. So let's see if anything else is going to be changing with that getting on through here. I think Walker tried for a faster time, but I'm not sure if he got it there. But anyway, he looks like he's going to hold on to that provisional pole time for a 130.3. Nick still down in second, 130.5. Seems like he's still on a final lap here right now, still trying to improve that time. Possibly there, Mr. Rage as well. Definitely running a pretty good lap. Let's see if he's able to get a faster time in. Walker did get a faster time in, a 130.072. That's about 5 tenths faster than what Nick currently has there in second, and 7 tenths faster than what Mr. H has in third at the moment. So it's going to be pretty hard to beat. They need to get an extremely good time in at this point to even try and beat him here. I think Mikey is already out of it. He's got second fastest now, 130.3. And that was close off to what BP had before. So up to second to him on the grid. Nick down to third. Mr. Rich down to fourth at the moment. Let's see if they're able to improve the time. Going down to then BP just finish off with fifth. and he might be able to hold on to that. Of course, Extreme is there in 6th, probably still running on track. Callum and Neil just did a switch, so Callum is up to 7th now for the start. Neil down to 8th, Maddie in 9th, and Serious Mushroom didn't get a time in either. He's in 10th there at the moment. And Serious Mushroom getting a bit frustrated with the game area itself. We got at least 3 drivers. Extremist running a hot lap. No, he's actually invalidated his lap. So let's see where Mr. Rage goes, and does go up to 2nd back once again. 130.323 improves and goes about 300 of a second faster. So gets himself back up into that. So not a bad finishing position for him for this qualifying session. Let's see what our starting grid for the top 10 actually looks like here. I'll have a look at the rest of the grid in just a bit as well. So Walker starting on provisional pole here for the Russian Grand Prix, and Mr. Rage alongside him in 2nd. Mike is going to be starting 3rd. We got Nick starting 4th. Beefy starts 5th. The Extremist will start in 6th. Callum starting 7th. Neil starts 8th. Maddie starts 9th. And Serious Mushroom will have to start 10. No time coming off of Maddie or Serious Mushroom there for a qualifying 3. Some interesting lap times as well there though for the top 5, I think, getting into the 130. So going to be very interesting and very competitive at the race start itself. So we're just waiting for that to get started there right now. Okay, so getting started with our formation lap here right about now, it's going to be a 27 lap race here around the Sochi Autodrome for the Russian Grand Prix, round 18 of 23 here for PGL F1 Sunday Division. And having a look right now at our entire starting grid, so I don't think we need telemetry on here as yet. We're going to put this onto tires so we can have a look, or at least you guys can have a look at what the tires are going to be for these guys getting started in the race, at least for the top 10, as we know what they, some of them qualified on the soft, some on the mediums, and what the setup strategies for the rest of the grid so far as it is. So we do have Walker starting on pole on this one here. P1 for him. We got Mr. Ray starting alongside him there in 2nd. Mikey's going to start in the 2nd row, 3rd there. And then alongside him is Nick there in 4th. Beefy starting 5th. We got Extremist starting in 6th. There are Callum starting 7th. Neil starting in 8th. We got Maddie starts 9th. Serious Mushroom will have to start 10th on the grid. We got Vintage starting 11th, Scooby starts 12th, Dan Murphy will start 13th, Sobdar starting 14th with his teammate J-Tac behind of him in 15th. We got Cody starting in 16th and Red Devil starts in 17th. That closes off the 17 drivers that we have starting in this race here. Of course, quite an interesting run for Sector 1, at least for the opening lap. It's going to be quite a heavy braking zone as well. So we're going to see how well the drivers do handle that. We do expect there might just be a safety car on the opening lap of this race. I'm not sure if it's going to go clean enough to avoid a situation like this, or if it's maybe it might just result in a VST for lucky, or if we get even extra lucky, it might just be a yellow flag getting around the first sector. So we'll see how well it's going to go. But typically, at least I would think about 70% of the time, there is usually a safety car on a start here for the Russian Grand Prix on these esports races. So we'll see how well it goes. We got 17 drivers on, not a full grid, but it still might just get a bit intense on that restart, just depending on how close cars do tend to get on each other here, especially with braking zones as they are. We'll see who's going to brake early and who's going to brake late, and how well that restart is about to go. We're just about ready to get started here with the Russian Grand Prix right about now. Everyone getting back into their grid slots, and I think we're just going to wait on Red Devil, the last car, to get sorted here. We're going to leave this on position changes. You guys can have a look at that as we get on through the first 2 laps at least with that, and then we'll switch it back over to tires. Taking into account that leaderboard might get mixed up on the restart itself. Let's have a look between Walker and Mr. Rage right now, who's about to get a better start as 5 lights on, and let's see, the thing are ready to go, and there we go. They got a bit of an even start there right now, and Walker seems to be leading pretty well out front. Of course, Mikey coming in between of that right now, so 3 cars going wide through on the opening lap, and I think Extreme is trying to get along with them there as well. This does not look like it might end 100% well, especially with those out in front, as cars are quite close off together, and we do have a lot of contact going on. Definitely some debris on track. We might have a yellow flag there or not. Not sure as yet, but so far so good as Mikey leads, Walker down to 2nd, Beefy running 3rd, Extremist running in 4th, Nick running up in 5th, Mr. Rage running 5th right about now. Nick back down to 6th at the moment, so still quite a few battles going on in the midfield and going on through with this race as we have out in front. Things seem to be calming down just a bit with a few tenths between the cars. But still down in the midfield here, 9th at the moment. Callum here fighting it off, I think, with Serious Mushroom. Serious Mushroom is up into 8th. He's holding on to that position at least for now. And there we go, we got a virtual safety car for something's happened at somewhere on the grid. I'm not even sure where that is at the moment here. Probably just for the amount of debris on track. Actually, no, it's not for the debris on track. Something's happened to Cody down at the back of the grid, and unfortunately we were not able to catch that on stream, so we'll not be able to have a look back at it. But yeah, we're going to be on the virtual safety car for just a bit. Cars will have to slow their speed down quite a bit and just keep in their keep their delta positive at least for now. And I think we can see what position changes are still there at the moment. The leaderboard has not gotten mixed up. Quite surprisingly, we're still on lap with the correct lap on the board itself. So lap 1 about to get closed off here at the moment. Let's see if we can have any possible pit stops happening here, as we might have had a few cars taking a bit of damage on that opening lap, because there was quite a bit of contact going on. But I think both our drivers might choose to stay out on this current lap here right now. And we are not in lap 3, we are currently in lap 2. I'm not even sure why it's showing that. So the leaderboard finally got a bit messed up there, so we're just gonna have to ignore that at least for now. The VSC I think now is over and we're back racing again, following on with Mikey here in let's see if he's in P4, and I'm sure where he's showing to be. I think he's in P1 running. I don't know why it's showing that way there, but either way, let's let that be there for now. So he's out front leading. The gaps are not going to be correct as what they are. They want to gotta wait for that leaderboard just to get back sorted again. So let's just go somewhere in the midfield right now and follow on with what's happening somewhere here with Mr. Rage at least, because I think he is pretty close off the Extremist in front of him. I really don't think that's the current positions. Actually, no, that's got sorted through now. So we're back out in front here. Let's follow back on with Mikey at the moment. So Mike is currently leading this race into lap 2 we are at the moment. Walker's down to 2nd. So he's lost the lead off the start of the race. Let's see how it's going to go with the rest of the race, if he's able to get back that position or not. Beefy running 3rd right about now. He's up 2 positions. Extremister in 4th, up 2 positions as well. Mr. Rage and Nick have lost a few positions. Serious Mushroom up 3 positions in 7th. So I think he's having a pretty good race there so far. Going down the rest of the order here, Callum in 8th, he's down the positions. Matt is right there where he started. We got Savdar chasing after him though, and his teammate JTAC still right behind of him, but Savdar just about a 2 to 3 tenths gap to the Ferrari in front of him, and he's looking to get alongside him and get by right now, which he actually does get by quite easily. So not a bad overtake there from Savdar, getting that position up pretty quickly. Next racing point, JTAC coming down behind of him is looking to get by as well, and he might be able to do this. Let's have a look how that's going to work. We're going to change this all back to tires here and put on the telemetry. You guys can have a look on when DRS is being used, as we're in lap 3 right about now. So that's going to be on and be available for them to actually be taking advantage of. Trying to follow on with the racing point of JTAC right now, chasing after the Ferrari of Matt to see if he's able to get that position. Out in front though, Extremist looks like he's got a penalty, and he's trying to get side by side with the Red Bull of Beefy right now, trying to pull out alongside him, but was not able to. Still has to hold on to P4 at the moment, and I think it's possibly just a 3-second penalty what he has right now. Neil has a penalty there as well. Gonna have to be a bit careful with the penalties going to the end of the race. As we know, we've seen in so many races done here on the channel, these penalties do affect the finishing positions of drivers down there at the end of the race, because they now have to work harder and get a bigger gap going. Dan Murphy getting pretty close off to the racing point of JTAC right now. He's trying to catch up to his teammates here, smashing up in 7th. And he has his overtake on. And there goes JTAC alongside the Ferrari right now. Takes it on the inside and gets that position up. Looks like the McLaren might try to fight it around the outside here as well. See if he's able to get that position. And does actually get it, get past. So he gets past the Ferrari as well. That is Matty down by 2 positions in less than a sector on track. And he might be having some trouble. I'm not sure. Does he have any damage on that car? Because I'm seeing an end plate missing off the left side of the front wing. And he's going into the pits right now, because that is definitely affecting his performance on track. And it's going to cost him quite a few more positions if he does continue on with that. They're out in front. Mikey leads by about 2.4 seconds right now against Walker. They're Beefy running in 3rd. And he's about 7 tenths behind. But closer gap that we have right now is Mr. Rage chasing after the House of Extremists. Beefy just in front of that. So interesting to see how these 3 are going to work it out here for 3rd position on the grid. And being that's a podium position, they're definitely going to be fighting for it. Hey Scott, welcome to the stream. Thank you for joining on the chat there. Don't forget to leave a like on the stream. Really do appreciate all of you guys doing that. I'm back on. Let's get on board right now with Mr. Rage here though, because he's getting very close. I think it was just up to a 10th behind Extremists. Of course, some portions of the track here are quite a bit difficult to overtake on. They gotta just be careful where they actually attempt to get these overtakes done. Now the DRS advantage is definitely helping here for Mr. Ray to keep up with the Extremists going on through, but he's keeping up with Beefy out in front as well, so trying to get back on the overtake cam with them at the moment. So far we've only lost 1 driver, which is not too bad to say, getting into lap 4 at the moment. We're about to get into lap 5 here. Out in front though, I think Mikey is doing an excellent job. Of course, the strategy, I'm not sure what's that's going to be working out to be, because remember, Mikey's running on the soft tires. He's ahead of Walker by 3.5 seconds, even though Walker started the race in P1, but Walker's running on the medium tires, which means he's going to be running a much longer stint before doing a pit stop at this point here. We got Beefy and Extremists down behind Walker here. They're running on the softs as well, so they're going to be running a shorter stint before doing their pit stops. So we'll see what that's going to be ending to be. We're back on board right now with Extremists here. Having a look at Beefy chasing after Walker there and see what that's going like. I think it's quite a bit of trainer cars coming on through right now, at least for the front of the grid, except with the exception of Mikey at least. So Beefy is trying to put some pressure on Walker at the moment. Of course, having a bit of a difficult time because he's about 8 tenths behind. He's keeping within that DRS range, which is a good sign at this point here right now. He needs to continue doing that if he has any intention of trying to improve his position here right now. We're on back with the Extremists, getting very close behind that Red Bull. Of course, that penalty that he has will definitely affect him in this race here, so he needs to be extremely careful. So at least 4 drivers so far with penalties in this race, and still trying to keep an eye on the rest of the grid going down. About a 6-10 gap between most of our drivers. They're out in front, except with Walker and Mikey there. 3.6 seconds is what that gap is, and it's trying to see if it's going to be extending any more than what it currently is right now. Of course, Walker is basically just playing a bit of a waiting game with him out front. He knows he has to do a stop earlier than him, and he's going to be taking over the lead of the race, and we'll see what the strategy change will be, because it seems to me it might just be a one-stop strategy for majority of our drivers on the grid here, depending how aggressive they're going to be running the strategy as well. You can see Extreme is starting to close in just a bit on Beefy here right now. He's gained about 2 tenths so far from the previous lap. Needs to get that time just a bit closer if he can though. We'll see if he's able to do that. Gap out front is extending by about 4 tenths so far. Alright, going back down to Safdar here in the racing point right now. He's chasing after Callum there in the Haas and looking to get around the outside, and has to hold back his position there in ninth, at least for now. Trying to get a better exit off of these turns to possibly gain some sort of advantage and get a position up here if he can. And through these 90-degree turns, they're going around here in sector 3 right now. Kind of a funny sector on the track if you think about it, with the turns as they are, and not as easy as you would expect to overtake around here as well. They do have Dan Murphy in the McLaren coming just behind them as well, so they need to be extremely careful in terms of any overtake attempts made here, because if it does not go through well, they might just be losing an extra position here. That's going to Safdar in P9, trying to get past Callum here right now, and on board we are. He's going to take it alongside the Haas driver right now, take it on the inside of the next turn, and he should be able to get it up. Of course, we do have Dan Murphy coming in between of that as well. He gets by as well, follows Safdar through, and he's up into 9th position, so not a bad piece of advantage gain for him there. He's gained a position by following through the racing point, and Callum though has lost 2 positions so far there, so he's down to 10th. Not the best of position on track to be in here at the moment. Of course, he's running on the soft. We'll see what's going to happen with these soft tires so far. They might be wearing away just a bit faster than expected here, but Mikey, they're making them last out front because he's about 4 seconds ahead of Walker there, who's running on the mediums at the moment, and Beefy's still down by about 8/10. He's still trying to keep up. I think those soft tires is what's helping him keep up so far. Extreme is keeping up with Beefy himself, and Mr. Raid still a pretty close gap with him. And Extreme is out in front, and Gap getting a little bit closer than to more than comfort here, and we'll see if that's going to end well for them, because we're having a look out front with Beefy and Walker there as well, as that gap is starting to close in just a little bit there, and let's see how well that's going to end off for them. Just behind these two, we do have Nick about another 4/10 behind, so he's trying to get into the battle there for P3 as well, but they have to get past both Mr. Rage and Extremist for that. Dan Murphy getting quite a close gap on Safdar there now. He's gaining some time. He's lost about a 10th or 2 since we've actually had a look at him there. And gap is definitely extending quite a bit out front. I think Mikey's trying to get as big of a gap as possible against Walker before actually doing his pit stop, because he doesn't want to be losing too many positions there when he does take that pit stop. So we'll see what that's going to be like. I just have back a look at Safdar here right now, because he's chasing after that McLaren. He's down from Dan Murphy by a position right now. He's lost the position there. So Dan Murphy up to 8. Safdar is now down to 9. He's chasing after him still, trying to get the position back. Not sure how well it's going for him. Let's have a look on board right now. Seems to be losing a few tenths as they go around. Gap being about half a second, still quite difficult to get that overtake done. Callum still coming behind them, but he's down by at least 1.8 seconds. So he has some time to catch up. We're going to go back out in front here just a bit. Having a look at Beefy here chasing after Walker out in front in the Williams. There we can see him just out in front, but still as close as that gap is, about 9/10 is what it is. He needs to keep that in the DRS zone as much as he can, because I think if he loses that advantage, he's going to start to lose some time to Walker there. As 8 laps done on these soft tires so far, they're going to start to wear away just a bit in here. Mr. Rage getting past Extreme is here right now for 4th position on the grid, and I think we missed that overtake there, but still quite a good position up for him. We're on board with the Extremist right now to see if he's able to get back the position away from Mr. Rage, but I don't think it's going to be happening anytime soon. Mr. Rage is planning on holding on to that position for quite a while, maybe even gain one more if he can. Does have to get past Beefy, who is he's about 8/10 behind, and Beefy is out of the DRS range right now of Walker's car. So Walker's trying to improve his time as he's caught up a bit to Mikey out in front. 3.7 seconds. We were up to just above 4 seconds with that delta there. So good to see how Walker's actually able to gain some time and break that down, but he's hoping that the soft tires are starting to wear away from the cars out in front there. I think Mr. Rage might be hoping for the same thing with Beefy. We'll see if he's going to be right about that one. That's on board right now with Nick here. He's chasing after the Extremist, trying to get past him. That's going to put him up into 50 if he does get that position up. Needs to be a bit careful about it though, because I think he probably does know that the Extremist has a penalty, so he's trying to put him under maybe a bit of pressure here. See if he's able to squeeze through and get up into P5. Serious Mushroom about 1.7 seconds behind, so they're actually catching up to out in front, and someone is going into the pits there right now, and that is Extremist, I think, and BP as well. So those on the soft tires are starting to do their pit stops pretty early off here, and let's see what the strategy is going to be here. I think he's going on to the mediums, and he's going to pull out the next 17 laps on that set there. I think that's what might be the strategy here, unless he's planning to do another pit stop, which we're not aware about, but I highly doubt that that's going to be the situation. He might just be pushing all the way to the end of the race. With that, I would assume they probably would have done maybe about a lap or two more before changing that set of tires there. But let's see how the strategy works for them, because it's going to be a bit difficult pulling off 17 laps on those set of mediums. I'm not sure if the tires are capable of it, but as it is there right now, let's see what's going to happen. Going back out in front here with Mikey leading this race here at the moment, comfortably by 3.6 seconds. Of course, he's on the soft tires as well. 3 cars behind of him running on the mediums, so he needs to think strategy-wise here at the moment and figure out what exactly he's gonna do about this set of tires that he's currently running on, and how much pace he actually has on them. Because 3.6 seconds, if he can keep that gap as constant as it is, he knows he's not losing time. He's already lost a bunch of time to Walker down behind of him. He needs to keep it, and he's just gone down to 3.5, back up to 3.6, so he needs to keep it in that 3.6 range for at least maybe a lap more if he needs to, and then do his pit stop on lap at the end of it, lap 11. But I think he's going in here right now, and yep, he's actually going to make the dive into the pits here right now, get those tires changed off, and possibly go into the mediums there as well. Now, those who started on the mediums, they're running a much longer stint. So let's see how much longer they're actually going to plan on running with that set of tires out, because I want to see what the strategy here is going to be. Is it going to be a one-stop for those on the mediums as well? I'm not sure yet, but let's see what's going to happen. Now, a few pit stops happening so far. So those on the softs taking stops, and I think everyone's on the softs have already taking their pit stops here. That last stop it being Callum there in 9th. So out in front, we now have Walker back into the lead of this race, where he was supposed to be from the start up to this point, but he lost the lead on the opening lap. He's back up into it here right now, and running 1.6 seconds ahead of Mr. Raid. So we're gonna have some gaps starting to form just a little bit, as cars in between the grid order have taken their stops to get off the soft tires. So Mr. Rage now running second. We got Nick now running in third here. We got Dan Murphy is up to fourth. We got Sofdar running fifth. We got Mikey is out of the pit lane, and he's running in sixth on the grid here at the moment. Now he has 11.9 second gap towards the car in front of him, and that's the racing point of Sofdar. Has JTAC behind of him at least by about a second or so. So he needs to catch up to Sofdar out in front of him, gain as much time as possible, so that when the rest of the grid in front of him does do their pit stops, he will be able to get back out into the lead of the race. If that's what the plan is here right now. We'll see how that's going to work. We got JTAC running 7th, Vintage runs in 8th. We got Beefy back out to the pits running in 9th, Extreme is back out running in 10th. Red Devil running in 11th right now. Serious Mushroom has taken a pit stop, he's running 12th. Callum taking a stop, he's running 13th. Matt is on the hard tires right now, 6 laps done on those, and he's running 14th on the grid. Bit of a different strategy compared to everyone else. And then we got Scooby there in 15, 19 seconds behind right now. Neil in 16. Cody unfortunately out of this race. We're back up here in 9th right now to Beefy here, chasing after Vintage, who's done 11 laps on his tires from the start of the race to this point so far. So he's looking to get by. He's already taking it on the inside. And True Sector 1 actually gets that position up quite easily. Let's see if Vintage is going to fight him back on it. But it doesn't seem like he will. He just holds on to his position there in 9 so far. Knows that Beefy is on fresher tires. Doesn't really make any sense fighting him too hard on it. Okay, so back out in front, we can see Walker still leading the race by 1.9 seconds. Nick still running third, just behind Mr. Ray 2.2, and Softar running about 7/10 behind Dan Murphy. So he's trying to catch up and possibly try to get that overtake done. Let's have a look at that right about now, because he's closing that gap in down to about 6/10 at the moment. Monkey there still trying to improve his gap that he has, 11.7 seconds behind Softar right now. He needs to improve that time as fast as he can if he's looking to get back the lead of this race, because I think Walker is hoping on everyone running a much longer stint here and keeping Mikey down there in 6th, and hopefully is not able to get by and possibly get up a few positions to try and get back the lead of the race. So this is gonna be coming down to the pit stop when Walker does decide to do his pit stop here. We'll see what's gonna happen that, and I think he might decide to do that somewhere around lap 16 or 17, and then go on to the set of soft tires to go to the end of the race. I think at least by lap 17. Let's see if that's going to be what the case is, because everyone that started on the soft did at least 10 laps on them before doing their pit stop, so I assume they're going to leave the final 10 laps of the race to do on the soft tires. They're running on the mediums going to lap 17, because it seems to be a one-stop strategy for everyone in the session so far. And looks like Mr. Rage has gotten a penalty out front. Let's have a look at the penalty so far as it is in this race. So 3 seconds so far for Mr. Rage, which I'm not sure how much it's going to affect his race so far. We'll see how that's going to go. J-Tag there was 6 seconds, Extremist with 9, Red Devil 3, we got Callum in 9, Maddie and Scooby, they're both with 6 seconds of penalties so far. And you can see stops as it is, who has not stopped in this race so far. And as it seems so far, it seems that it's our top 5, as well as JTAC and Vintage Dare and Red Devil. So they have not done pit stops in this race so far as it is. Going back down to position changes here. I think we're going to wait until the second round of pit stops happen here. Well, the next round of pit stops where the guys running the longer stints, and see where they're going to be at by the time they finish those stops, and then we'll probably have a look and see who's potentially going to be getting a driver of the day at the end of this one here. We're still following on with soft dot right now. So out in front, Walker still leads. Gap is 2.5 seconds. And down to Mr. Rage in second. Nick there in third. He's behind by about 2.1. Dan Murphy has 4.2 seconds to catch up. Soft dot keeping his lead down to, his gap down to 0.6 of a second here, and he's keeping within that DRS range, which is so important at this point in the race. Mikey here is trying to decrease that gap that he has to Soft dot in front. His gap is now down to 11 seconds. And he needs to just break that entire gap down, get within a second to 2 seconds of Dan Murphy there if he's looking to get by into the lead back when they all do decide to do their pit stops, which is going to be in about 3 laps time or so. I think we're going to start to see some laps pit stops happen with those on the mediums. I started on the mediums in just a bit here right about now. Maybe on lap 15 or 16 we'll start to see them diving into the pits and getting off those tires there. Okay, so still following on with Soft dot at the moment. Gap is still within a second with him and Dan Murphy here. So he's still trying to break that gap down. Mikey is starting to gain some sort of advantage here. He's gaining time on Soft dot at the moment. He's down by 10.1 seconds. Of course, we're getting very close after the point where those guys might start to take their pit stops. So trying to see how well this is going to work out. Going back down to the back of the grid here. We do have Callum chasing after Red Devil in the Renaults, trying to get past him. Let's see if he's going to be able to get that done. And meanwhile, we're keeping an eye out front to see when those drivers are going to start to take those pit stops there. And Walker getting a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That's not going too well for him as he's getting into the pits there right about now. And let's see what sort of tires he's going to be going on. Looks like he might have to do maybe to a set of hards at this point. I'm not sure if a set of softs will make it down to the end. And everyone out in front currently taking their pit stops right about now. Doesn't look like those mediums are going to make it to the end of the race there. With those who went on to them pretty early on in lap 10, they have to do an extra 2 laps from what these guys did. So they're going to be wearing away pretty quickly by the time these guys get around to lap 26. Those who did their stops from the soft to the mediums earlier on. And that's what's happening out in front right now. Because Walker is coming back in behind Mikey right now. That means Dan Murphy is going to pit. And that's going to mean Mikey back out into the lead of the race. We got a virtual safety car right there for something's happened somewhere on track. And I think it's something with... let's have a look. It's with Scooby there, the other Mercedes, unfortunately. Some sort of issue with him, but it's a virtual safety car, not a full safety car. So at least we know we're continuing on with the race. Still, we're on lap 16 of 27 right now. So we got at least 11 laps of racing still left to go here. Just waiting for that VSC to be over with here right now. And I think this would have been the perfect lap for these guys to take that pit stop out here right about now. Dan Murphy might be taking his stop at this point here right now as he's getting around through into sector 3 at the moment. Let's see if he does decide to do his pit stop at this lap here. But it does seem like those that did the first round of pit stops from the soft to the mediums will be able to make it to the end of the race, given the amount of laps these guys pulled off on the mediums here. And we're back racing once again. DRS is now back online. We do have Dan Murphy into the pits. Let's see if he gets any sort of advantage out of this. Because Mikey's about 10.7 seconds behind him and coming around the final sector of the track here right now. But he's still entering the pit lane, so I highly doubt he's going to be getting an advantage to possibly get back in front of Mikey's car. Let's see where he does get out though, because he might be losing some positions here. Alright, so Mikey's back up into the lead of the race here right now. We're on lap 17 after just completing off with our second VSC. Walker's now running back in second, but he is, of course, on the soft tires here, 3.5 seconds behind the Mercedes of Mikey. So let's see if he has the pace on those soft tires to possibly catch up to him and get back the lead here to going to the end of the race. He has about 10.5 laps to get this done. And he's doing purple sectors here at the moment, so he might just have that advantage. 3.2 seconds is what the gap is right now. I think he might be on a better strategy in terms of finishing there in P1. Even with the penalty that he does have, he might even have time to just get that gap going out in front. Mr. Range here running 1.6 seconds behind Walker. He's trying to keep up with him as much as he can. Beefy running in fourth on the mediums there as well. He did an earlier stop on 1.2 seconds. He's stuck between these guys who are on the soft tires going. We got Nick running another 1.5 seconds behind there in fifth, and quite a bit of a gap with the rest of the drivers on the grid. But let's keep an eye out front here right now, because Walker is breaking that gap down very quickly on these fresh soft tires here right now. I think this was his strategy was here, and it seems to be working very well for him so far, because if he's able to get ahead of Mikey by the time we get around the next 3 laps or so, he definitely will have enough time to get a gap going against him. And he gets the fastest lap so far. Mr. Race now gets the fastest lap. I think both of them might be looking to get by Mikey there for P1, P2. And Mikey might have to go down to P3 with Beefy behind him in fourth. Of course, we do have Nick catching up to Beefy there, who's on the soft tires as well. So he might get an advantage of that. He might be able to get up into fourth in this race. We'll see how that strategy works out, but it's working pretty well so far for those who just did a stop onto the soft tires here. Soft Tire and Extreme is doing a bit of a switch there, I think. Soft Tire is down to 7th. He's trying to get back up into 6th. Let's see if that's going to work well for him. Gap is down to 1.5 seconds out in front. We're going back down to Nick here, chasing after the Red Bull, who's still on those mediums. Did a soft about 7 laps ago. So that early stop might just be costing them here right now, being on the slower tires, as Nick just looking for a gap to get by up into the lead at the moment. And they go side by side there, and Nick quite actually easily gets that position up, having much more pace on those soft tires. He's up into 4th. That puts Beefy down to 5th right now. Gap out in front has gone down to under a second. We're on the soft tire here right now, chasing after Beefy, but quite a gap to work with. He does have the Extremist just behind him though, and Dan Murphy chasing after Extremist, trying to get by. Gap is about 3/10 between them. We're gonna have a look out in front here right now though to see what's gonna happen with the race lead as down the straight they go here at the moment. And there goes Mikey losing out on the lead to Walker, who's good, gets it back. Those soft tires work pretty well, and we got a safety car just after that overtake happened. Neil is out down in the back of the grid there. I'm not sure what happened to him. I think he's his car is getting into the pits there. And that's going to be a full safety car for that one there. Walker actually got that one pretty lucky. Getting that overtake done just before the safety car happened. So he's going to be able to keep that position. And Mikey is down behind in 1.4 seconds. But that doesn't matter at this point. Being under a safety car, everyone's going to be running and getting back as close up to the car in front of them as they can. And definitely we might see a few more pit stops happen with those on the medium tires. They might be doing a switch going onto the softs. So we'll see how that's going to work out. Of course, Mikey there now down to 2nd. He now needs to decide, is he going to be able to hold off for the next 8.5 laps on that set of tires that he has there, or does he want to take a dive into the pits and possibly get onto the soft tires going to the end? And he will lose a few positions here, but he needs to decide if that's going to be of any advantage to him going down to the end, or if he's going to be able to hold off on this. Now we got another 2 laps to do under the safety car. That's going to take us possibly to the end of lap 20 or 21 before we even get back restarted with this race. So we got he has at least about 5 laps of racing to worry about in terms of staying on the mediums there in 2nd. So is he going to be able to hold off those cars for 5 laps? There is what he needs to decide right about now. It looks like he's trying to see what's happening here right now, and the race leader Walker is going into the pits here right about now, and I'm not sure why, but he's going on to a fresh set of soft tires, as it seems like he's doing a drive-through. No, he has a drive-through penalty. No, I don't know what he's going through right now. Let's see where he's going. No, he's actually, I thought you had drive-through penalty, but he wouldn't have been able to serve that during the oh, that's why he's taking the stop. So Walker's taking a stop because he has a 5-second stop go penalty to serve in the pit lane there. So he did a 2nd stop, and he served that penalty. So he's now coming out on track penalty free, and he's gonna race until the end and try to get back the lead if he can. Mr. Rage back out in front now. He's now leading the race. Nick running in 2nd. Sofdar running 3rd. Dan Murphy runs 4th now. Extremist in 5th. Serious Mushroom running 6th. Mikey into 7th right now. And he did a stop as well, and he's gotten Walker on that pit stop because of Walker having to serve the 5-second stop go penalty there. So he's now back in front of him. So interesting change up with these two. Beefy now running in 9th as he took a stop there as well. J-Tac in 10th, Maddie there 11, Callum there 12, Vintage in 13, and Red Devil in 14. And in the meanwhile, guys, let's have a quick look. I don't think our safety car's gonna be going in on this lap. Just having a look to make sure of that here right about now, because I highly doubt that's what's gonna happen. Let me just make sure that it's still running just in front of Mr. Rage here at the moment, which it still is. And we seem to be migrating the host for some reason. Just trying to make sure that the safety car is not going in as yet, because I think we should be doing just one more lap under that safety car before actually getting back going. It looks like Walker's gotten disconnected from the session. Hopefully he gets back on before we get back restarted with this race, because we got a lap more to go under the safety car here right now. And in the meanwhile, everyone gets that sorted. We're going to have a look at the driver standings as it is so far. Looks like Mikey is leading with a Mercedes in 222 points. Quite a big lead he has there right now. We got Beefy in 2nd with a Red Bull, 183 points. Mr. Rage in 3rd for the driver standings there. with 165 points, and looks like Walker's gotten back on there right now. And speaking of him, he's currently in 4th for the driver standings, fighting with that with 163 points. And he's only 2 points behind Mr. Rage right now, of course, who is leading the race there. We got Maddie there in the Ferrari, 106 points so far in 5th. Sofdar in 6th right now, 89 points. We got Dan Murphy in 7th with 73 points. Nick there 8th with 62 points. We got Mushroom there 9th with 48 points as it is. We got Vintage in 10th with 27 points. Atronak in 11th with 24 points. We got Robbie in 12th right now with 20 points. We got Cody in 13, 15 points. And then Scooby there in 14th with 10 points as it is so far. Then we got Kristaps there 15th with 4 points. We got Extremist with 3 points and 16. Red Devil no points. No points for Callum, Neil, or either as well. And at least that's the driver standings for now. I think we're getting to the we're at least halfway through this lap here right now. We should get back restarted with a race session at the end of this. Okay, so with Mr. Rage in the lead, we've lost 3 drivers in this race so far. We're on lap 21, about to end that lap off here right about now, getting into lap 22 to get back racing. And that's going to give us a few more laps of racing before we get to the end here right now. And we'll see how the strategy changes work for quite a few of these drivers. Mikey running 7th right now, Walker into 8th. Let's see if they're able to get back into the lead as we're about to get back restarted here right now. Mr. Rage gets back going, about 7 tenths between him and Nick. Softer another 5 tenths behind as he tries to chase on through. Extremist and Serious Mushroom both on the medium still. We're going to see how that works out for the both of them going down to the end of this race. Mikey in 7th right now, trying to get past Serious Mushroom there. Let's see if he does able to actually get that done. We do have Walker just behind of that coming. And that Mercedes is getting held up by the McLaren here at the moment, trying to get by. And he's going to be losing a position to Walker, who's trying to come around on the inside here right now. Mercedes goes around the out, and that's Mikey up a position. If he's able to get that overtake done with, we got Walker coming just behind of that as well. He's going alongside Serious Mushroom here at the moment. He's going to take it on the inside, and he possibly is going to get that position up as well. That's 2 positions down now for Serious Mushroom so far, so those mediums not working as well as he expected going down to the end. I think he did expect to lose quite a few positions as well here. Mikey is now after Extremist there, the next driver on the set of mediums, starting to go to the end of this race there. 3/10 is what the gap is, and he's chasing after the house driver right now, really trying to get by, and in a bit of a hurry with it as well, as Extremist goes a little bit too off to the side, and that's going to put the Mercedes on the inside to get around that position. Looks like he has a better straight line speed as well, and Mikey is up into 6th here. I think he should be up to into 6th, trying to take it on the inside, gets the position up into 5th, sorry. And Extremist down to 6. Walker is about a 10th behind of that. He's trying to get by still and follow Mikey on up for the position. Let's see if he does get it through. He's trying to go side by side right now with the Haas there. A bit of minor contact between the two of them, but he still fights on through. Just behind Beefy and Serious Mushroom fighting it for 8th position there as well. And they're still side by side fighting through for that, but Beefy gets ahead. He's up into 8th. Walker's up into 6th, and Extremist down to 7th, and he might be losing another position to Beefy, who's about 4 tenths behind of him. Out in front, Mr. Rage leads by a second ahead of Nick, running in 2nd. Sofdar running 7 tenths behind in 3rd. Dan Murphy another few tenths behind, he's running in 4th. And Mikey now up into 5th in this race at the moment. He's going to chase after Dan Murphy next if he's able to. Let's see how that's going to work out. Maddie down behind here, chasing after Serious Mushroom, trying to get around the outside, and might actually be able to get this done. He goes up into 9th. That's Serious Mushroom down into 10th right now. Quite a few positions lost since the start of this race, and that might just continue a bit more. We'll see how that's going to work out, because Extreme is here right now under pressure from Beefy in the Red Bull, about to lose that position as soon as that Red Bull tries to get alongside him. Trying to keep an eye out front to see what's happening with Dan Murphy there and Mikey. 1.5 seconds where the gap is. So they have some time to work that out. In the meantime, we're on lap 23. Following Beefy 2 tenths behind Extremist in the house. And let's see how long he takes to actually get alongside him. He's trying to keep him out of the bit of the slipstreaming that he has going on there right now. And Beefy is trying to keep as close as he can. Possibly try to get him into the next lap here. And he takes it on the inside right now, and he's going to get him into the next turn and actually gets a bit of advantage there. And he gets out in front in 7th. He's now about 2.8 seconds behind Walker. He's going to continue chasing after him. DRS is now back online after that safety car restart there. We're into lap 24 here right now and going. You can see Maddie closing in on Extremist here right now. Those soft tires definitely working pretty well. And he's right up to the rear of the house right now. He's going to take it around the outside. And looks like he should be able to get that position up depending on how he gets the braking zone. But he's pulling back on the inside. Actually might just keep it safe for now. And doesn't want to risk the position. Out in front, our gaps are starting to close just a bit. Well, Mikey not able to close the gap right now to Dan Murphy there in 4th. Mr. Rate still leading this race by 1.5 seconds ahead right now. Maddie still looking to get by into a 8th position if he can. Sofdar getting another penalty there. Now out in front, Mr. Rage has a penalty. I assume it's minimum of 3 seconds. And that's going to be a bit of an issue out front because Nick currently has absolutely no penalties. He's running in 2nd on the grid and 1.4 seconds behind only. So he's looking pretty good at getting a race win here this evening for the Russian Grand Prix. We got Sobdar running in 3rd. We'll have a look at what the penalties are like so far in just a bit. Because back up the grid right about now, everyone's running quite close to each other, trying to get some positions up if they can. Even Red Devil just behind Callum there, who's behind Vintage about just a few tenths. Maddie here back again behind Extremist by just about 2 tenths. Definitely should be able, with a DRS advantage coming up, should be able to get alongside that car. Out in front, Sobdar looking to get up in the 2nd right about now. He's trying to improve that time. Let's see how that's going to work. There goes Maddie up into 8th position, but Extremist with a bit of late braking fights it back, goes a bit wide there right now, or a bit of force a bit wide actually. And he gets back to position, still side by side, I think, with the Ferrari. Now he's back down behind him right now. And fighting it off with Serious Mushroom at the moment, who is trying to get past him. So going to be an interesting fight there for 9th. Of course, Callum, they're coming behind Serious Mushroom in the McLaren. He is trying to get up into 10th position in this race. And looks like he actually gets it up and puts the... Oh, and Walker is unfortunately out of the race. I'm not sure what's happened to his car. Where is his car on track right now? Stuck at the side of the track there. Unfortunately, he was having a good race going on through. I'm not sure what exactly happened there. And that seems to just be a yellow flag so far. So he is unfortunately out of this race. That leaves us with 12 drivers remaining here right about now. Lost about 5 so far. Going out in front right about now, Mikey is chasing after Dan Murphy here. He's about within a second actually of Dan Murphy right now. He's going to have the DRS advantage for the next 2.5 laps that we have remaining in this race. Actually, for the next 2 laps we have remaining, as we're about to get into lap 26 here right about now. So very limited time left for him to try and get a position or 2 more up in front. He doesn't have any penalties, so that might be a bit of an advantage for him. I'm going to go a bit more out front right now, following with Safdar, who is fighting for a podium position at this point here right now. Yes, Dan Murphy about 2 tenths behind of him coming. Of course, Mikey coming just behind of that. And he's trying to keep up with Nick in front of him for a second on the grid right about now. But of course, with the penalties as it is, let's have a look at penalties actually and bring that up online here right about now. So 3-second penalty for Mr. Rage out in front. And he's trying to get a gap of 3 seconds ahead of Nick right now, who's down by 2.3 seconds. So not looking too good on that end. Needs to gain that a little more time. Safdar has some issues here right about now. He is trying to get back going. And currently down to 6 at the moment. Has some damage on that car. We have to finish the race with that set damage. We got Nick and Mikey fighting it for P3 in the race, and both of them having a 3-second penalty. Nick is going to be fighting it out with Mr. Rage for the lead right now because his gap is up to 2.5 seconds. Nick needs to keep that within 3 seconds if he wants to take away the win from Mr. Rage at this point here right now. And we're about to enter into the final lap of the Russian Grand Prix here at the Sochi Autodrome. And Mike is within a second of Nick, but I'm not sure how that's going to go for him, of course, with the penalty. And looks like Nick is going to be losing out on a race win. Savdar is out of the race as well. I think he might have retired in the pits. I think he did. So we're down to 10 drivers left in the race, and 2.8 seconds is what the gap is between Mr. Rage and Nick here right now on the very final lap around the circuit for the Russian Grand Prix to see who's going to get the win on this one. Gap is up to 3 seconds right now and just circling around that exactly that 3-second range. So let's see if that's going to work, because down and below we got Mikey and Dan Murphy looking to take third and fourth. They both have a 3-second penalty. Beefy in fifth having 5.7 second gap and a 3-second penalty with the driver in front, so he will be sticking right there in fifth. We'll see what's going to happen with the Serious Mushroom, because he looks like he's going to get quite a few positions up, as well as Vintage here, because both of them having no penalties and two drivers in front of them having 12 seconds of penalties, so that's not going to go off too well with that. Gap is up to 3.5 seconds right now with Mr. Rage out in front, and he's extended a gap pretty quickly over the final lap here, and looks like he will be able to keep his race win here, which he definitely did work quite hard for in this race. Unfortunate Walker was not able to finish here. Safdar as well had a pretty good position, as well as Extremist there, but things do happen in the race, and we got Mr. Rich coming around the final 2 turns here right now, and is about to get across the line and will take the win there for the Russian Grand Prix. Finishes P1, keeps that position as a 3.8 second gap, finishes with Nick there in second on across the line, takes second on the podium. Mikey takes third on the podium with that one. Dan Murphy will have to finish fourth on the grid. We got Beefy finishing in fifth there right now. Gap was not close enough for him to have a switch with Dan Murphy out in front. Maddie there taking sixth for now, and a bit of switch up happening because of penalties at the moment. So Serious Mushroom now goes up into sixth. We have Callum finishing 9th, Vintage finishing 7th, Maddie finishes 8th, and I think it's one driver left behind of that. And see who got driver on the day on this one. We really didn't keep too much track of that to see how that was going to end, but quite an interesting finish there. And Dan Murphy actually got driver of the day. Not too bad of a finish for him. Okay, so let's have a look at our final results here. So round 18 of 23 Russian Grand Prix. Quite an interesting race start, and surprising quite an interesting clean of a race start actually that we had going on, between so many cars going wide through that first sector of the track. Okay, so finishing positions for the race, Mr. Ray takes the win for that one. We got Nick second on the podium. We got Mikey finishing third on the podium with that one. Not a bad finish, and Mr. Ray did get the fastest lap in the session as well. Dan Murphy there finishing fourth and driver of the day. Beefy takes fifth. Serious Mushroom was sixth. Vintage finishing in 7th. Maddie finishes 8th. Callum there finished 9th. We got Red Devil taking 10th. Savdar 11th. Extremist 12th. Walker 13th. J-Tech in 14th. Neil in 15th. Scooby 16th. And Cody there in 17th. Unfortunately, a few drivers were not able to finish the race. At least 7, I think. But still coming down to the end was quite an interesting finish. Thanks to everyone who joined on to the session. And please make sure you guys do leave a like before you're leaving the stream. And remember, if you're new on the channel, make sure you guys do subscribe here. We will have around 19, I think it will be, next week Sunday again. We have a few streams between here and there, so do keep an eye on what's going on and what's scheduled on the channel and what's not scheduled. So thank you guys once again for joining on. I'll see you guys on the next stream.